Welcome to the 5 for 2 podcast with me, your host Adele, where we say no to careers where you're trading 5 days of misery for 2 days of fun. A place we discuss all things career, confidence, and money moves. I want to motivate, teach, and empower ambitious women to achieve more, earn more, feel more confident, and enjoy the work they do. It's all about believing you can have everything you want in your career and then going and getting it. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. How are you all? I'm just here thinking about how it's nearly the end of the year. There's still so much to do. Like Christmas is always such a big deal in my house, even though there's only a few of us here. I'm cooking like it's cooking for the 5,000. I digress. All these podcast episodes in the upcoming weeks are to help you navigate your new year job search. The reason I say that, and I say new year job search, is because this side of the new year, everything slows down. Listen, the same way you're tired and you're waiting to get to that Christmas break, so are companies. Companies are ready to be done. So yes, there might be still jobs advertised, but things won't necessarily move as quickly. You may get a first interview this side of the new year, but not that many. I doubt it. It's really going to be more in January and February when things start to pick up again. Things always start to slow down in the job market around mid-November. Now, listen, that doesn't go for every industry, but it does go for most industries. So getting a job now, much slower, takes much longer, much harder, just because there's less people around to do the interviews. More people have already started to take breaks if they've got kids, if they're going to go away. So then you might get interviewed by one person, but you still got to see like 4 other people in the company and they're all away. So most companies are like, we can't be bothered. Let's just wait for everyone to be back. So yes, all these episodes are around like things that are going to help you next year and beyond. And today, I want to talk about reputation. I don't think I've ever done an episode on reputation. I've definitely done an episode on your branding and how to brand yourself. And that was really good. It was with Keisha Shake. So if you've not heard it, go back and listen. It's an older episode. But this episode, I want to talk about your reputation and how that affects your brand. Because when you think of your brand, like when I think of my brand, I stand on business when it comes to my brand. Like my brand is very much, I don't follow the rules. We're going to get these career changes and make this money all when people are telling us that it's not possible. I don't follow a traditional path. I find the way I fit in. I find the way my clients fit in. We use side doors. We use windows. We use any way to access the direction we want to go in. Because sometimes you can't go through the front door. Sometimes you've got to take a side door. You've got to take a side road. You've got to go through a window. And that's why my coaching program is called Create Your Own Lane. Because there will be people that say to you, oh, there's no way you can double your salary. You can't ask for 2 pay rises in a year. But I've done it. My clients have done it. People that will say to you can't change industry without qualifications or experience. I've done it twice. So I'm saying, and my clients are doing it. That's the whole premise of my business. Like I'm a career change coach. So what I'm saying is you might not be able to do it, but over here, that's what we're doing in this world. That's what because whatever you believe is real is real. So I know that to be my reputation, 10 toes down. When it comes to corporate, I know my reputation. I'm a problem solver. If I tell you I'm going to figure it out and get it done, it's going to get done. If I tell you it will be on your desk on Monday, it will be on your desk Friday evening or first thing Monday morning because that's who I am. I'm polite. I'm probably overly smiley and I'm friendly. And I've got my reasons for that. But I know who I am and I know what my brand is at work. And remember, because I've said this before in a past episode, if you don't build your brand, someone will tell you what it is. If you don't tell people who you are, they'll tell you who you are. And who they tell you are, you might not like. But I really want to talk about the reputation that you leave behind you, even whether it's a good job, bad job, indifferent job. Like what legacy have you left behind you in corporate? Because as big as the corporate world is and as many industries as there are, so many people know other people. The higher up you get in leadership, everyone knows everyone. And your reputation will precede you. It will follow you and you will get known for something, whether you like it or not. So I say all that to say reputation is everything when it comes to the corporate world. And in general, reputation is everything. What are you known for in your company and across your industry? And if you're not yet known in your industry, when you get there, What will people say about you? That is so important. Maybe you haven't built a name for yourself yet. Maybe you're just starting on the road to building a name for yourself. But when you build that name, what is that name going to be? What will they say about you? Are you a great colleague? Are you a great coworker? Are you a great boss? Like, who? What are they going to say about you? Are you a problem solver? Are you an excellent communicator? Do you understand everything about compliance back and front? Are you a HR wizard? Are you a computer wizard? Are you the queen of cybersecurity? Like, have you helped foil thousands of different hacks? Like, people have tried to hack it, and you're the person you're known for stopping hacks. You are known for building insane firewalls. Like, who are you and what are you known for? Are you known to be the mean one? Because we've all had that manager. Let's not pretend. The mean manager. I don't ever want to be the mean manager, but know that I am known to be the manager who's direct and listen, I get it done. I have learnt in my career to read people for filth, but in the most professional way. Because I ain't about to get in trouble for anyone, but I'm gonna let you know. You're gonna have to read between the lines because I'm not the one, the two, or the three. But I'm going to professionally let you know that I can't stand you and I'm reading you for filth. But I'm professional at all times. So people will always say to you, oh, Dell's really nice, Dell's really polite. So if you get that one random person who's like, oh, Dell's really rude, I find her really mean, it's because I wanted you to think of me like that because I really didn't like you. And I know the rest of my reputation is built. It is strong. So if 1 out of 10 people say they didn't like me, the other 9 are going to be like, really? Oh, they're going to think it's you. They're going to be like, must be you because that's not our experience of Adele. Right. That's what I'm talking about when I say your reputation. Are you known to be difficult? Nobody wants to work with someone who is difficult. Are you known to be hard work? And before I get loads of you in the comments saying, oh, being strong-willed doesn't mean we're difficult or hard. Listen, if you hear something 30 or 40 times, it's you. Stop blaming everyone else. It's you. If you hear something once or twice, fair enough, you can chalk that up to that person just doesn't get your personality. But if you hear something 30 or 40 times and other people are not hearing that same thing, it could possibly be you. And there are millions of factors. Gender, race. There are factors that actually mean that it might not be you. So I'm never going to take away from that. I'm a black woman. I'm never going to take away from the fact that there are other things that affect how people perceive you. However, there are also things that you can do so that they don't. And I know some people listening will say, oh, I shouldn't have to be someone different to get along in corporate or in this world. Listen, the world ain't fair. If it was, things would be very different. Life ain't fair. So you can either complain about the system or learn to get into the system, work your way up in the system and then change the system. But you can't change from outside. Yeah? You can't do anything from outside the party. We inside. Come join us. But you can't do anything from outside. So saying something isn't fair or that you're not going to do something differently, that's cool. But I will always ask someone who has that type of attitude, how far has that got you? Where has that got you? Because I don't go back and forth. That's one thing about me. I don't go back and forth. If your way works, then you should do it. My coaching program is not called Create Your Own Lane for no reason. If your way works, continue to do it. But if it's not working, sometimes open your mind to something different. Anyway, sorry, ran over. back to the topic at hand. Your reputation follows you. So you need to think about how you want to be known. Something that I think is really important is no matter how someone is towards you, that reflects on them. But the way you respond reflects on you. And I've had to learn this over the years because trust me, I've cried in toilets. I've sent the rude email that was not professional. I've cussed people out. I've not cussed them out like to the extreme, like I would if we were outside work. But I've definitely one situation comes to mind where I had to cuss someone out in the office, screamed at her like we was outside on the street. Oh, actually, too, there was this guy, he was a chauvinist, and he was talking to me about women this and women should know their place. Hey, I stood up and told him about himself. So I have been in situations. So please don't think that I'm coming from a place of judgment because I'm not one to judge because the younger Adele didn't have it all together. She had a lot together. Do you know what I mean? Younger Adele was able to change industry, able to double salary, do all those, but there was other things that younger Adele, I couldn't always contain my anger. And I did not know how to write a professional email that was actually rude, but professional. So you couldn't get in trouble. Like I had to learn those things. So like I said, no matter how someone is towards you, the way you respond reflects on you. Even when someone pisses you off, how you respond is important. Listen, I give people in corporate way more chances than I would give someone in real life. In real life, my attitude is almost like one, you're gone. Like, I don't really give chances because my thing is, once you do certain things, it means that's who you are. And once you show me who you are, that's it. You ain't got to show me again. I'm good. Like, I'll run. Like, I'm okay. Yeah. She's a runner. That's who I am. So in corporate, I give people multiple chances to be rude to me. You know how many bosses have been like, I can't stand you. I feel like you're so rude to me. And what I've had to learn to do is I've had to learn to manage my managers, or I've had to learn how to deal with that person so that they learn how to stop being rude to me. But I've given people way too many chances. Why? Because I've learned how to play the game and I understand what's necessary to move forward in a world and a system that I did not build, but that I am definitely going to make the most of and get the most from. A lot of us, listen, I think it's only right when we see unfairness, when we see injustice, sorry. When we see it, we should call it out. I think that's only right and it's only fair. But I also understand that the system was not built for us to win, especially women. Whoa, this corporate system wasn't built for us. Doesn't mean that we can't get in there, get the same money men are getting and handle our business. It means that we have to move differently and we have to build reputations that are different from the norm. And that doesn't mean being someone you're not. I'm never advocating for being someone you're not, but understanding that there is a version of Adele who goes to work and there is a version of Adele in her real life. There are things I would say at my kitchen table with my best friends that I would never in my life repeat at work. I don't care how close, how friendly we are. Never would people at work know that about me. Just never. Absolutely not. And if you ever think that you shouldn't have to have a work version versus a home version, let me be real with you. When you go to church, do you not have a church version? Is the same person that shows up to church and the same clothes you wear in church the same that you wear outside? Because I know for sure I wear crop tops and short shorts in the summer. I definitely don't go to church just like that. I know for a fact the way I would talk to my grandma, God rest her soul, and my mum is not the same way I would talk to my best friend. Because when I'm ready, I'm like, hey, bitch, like, you think I'm to my mum, my Jamaican mum? You must want me to get slapped. It's the same. The way I talk outside of work may contain more profanities, might be more slang. When I'm in work, absolutely not. Yes, code switching is a thing. And sometimes it's necessary because they wouldn't know what the hell I was talking about otherwise. My mother is Jamaican. Now, when I start talking in patois, how are they going to understand me? Sir and madame, sometimes we have to be realistic. Yeah? The code switch doesn't always have to be extreme, but it may still need to switch. I don't believe that we should have to code switch in work. But sometimes it is necessary. And sometimes this is what the playing the game means. Understanding how much of yourself to bring to work, understanding what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. Because sometimes what we're talking about is not code switching. It's almost what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. What's appropriate outside on the road is not what's appropriate in church. It just isn't. I'm sorry. I redid. Listen, I did my blessing recently because I got married in July and I redid my blessing, so that we could do it in a church when I got back to the UK. And when I redid my blessing, I wore my dress, but I wore a shawl that covered my shoulders and my back. Why? Because it's in church. You can't have your shoulders and everything out. I don't know why, but the elders don't like that. And if you go to church, you understand what I'm talking about. You can't have your shoulders and your arms out, so I had to wear a shawl. It is what it is. Time and a place. When you go to school, you had to wear a uniform. Your uniform wasn't your personality. None of you were screaming like, I shouldn't have to wear my uniform. And even if you was, you still put it on and went in, right? So sometimes we do have to understand there is two different versions of us, a work version and a home version. Also, I wouldn't want people at work to know my business like that. But some of you do, and I get it. And that's fine. But that's not for me. I don't want people at work to know my business. I don't want them to know me in and out. I want you to know as much of me as I want you to know of me. Again, what is your reputation? In my personal life, in my friendship circle, depending on who you ask, some of my friends know that I'm super introverted. They will say to you, Adele is super introverted. She's one of the quietest ones in the group. That lets you know how loud my friends are. However, they also know that I'm a homebody. Oh my gosh, if you was to ask my best friend, she's like, I used to come to Adele's house when we was teenagers and she'd be sitting in the living room in a sleeping bag and I would have to force her to come out. So I'd be like, get up, let's go outside. We were like 19 then. Listen, I like inside. I've always liked inside. I don't like all this socializing every minute. It's just not my thing. And if we do socialize, I'm the one who leaves early. I've been there for 1 hour. That's enough of my time. See you later. The rest of you are going to be here all night, 7 hours later. You're going to be there till the next morning. You're going to tell me about somewhere else you went and you ended up at the casino know, and then you went to a club and then you, no, 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 no. I came for dinner and then I came home. And that's not all the time, but it's 95% of the time. My best friend will call me sometimes and be like, that was nice outside. I bet you haven't even gone outside. You're awful. Get outside. I'm telling you, that's who I'm known as. At work, that is not who I'm known as. As work, I'm known as a very strong communicator, very outgoing, get stuff done, will speak to anyone I need to speak to. Doesn't matter what level they're at, whether they sit at senior VP or whether they sit at entry level. If you're C-suite or you're not, I've been in C-suite. Like, so it makes no difference for me. Whoever you are, I will sit at the table. I'm a decision maker and I will support decision makers. If I need to sit in the background, I know how to do that. But I also am very communicative. Right. So these are two different people that one's telling you that they don't like to go outside and talk to people. The other one's going to be saying to you they love to talk to people. I'm still the same me. Know that. But I know that for my job and to get the outcomes that I want to get, I need to be more communicative. I hate that word, communicative. Anyway, I need to communicate more in my work life. So I want you to think about that. When people are getting on your nerves at work, when a process is pissing you off, how do you deal with it and what kind of taste do you leave in that person's mouth? How do they know you? And the reason why I want you to remember this is people move around corporate all the time. I have experienced this twice in my career. Yeah, where I've left one place and then run into the same person who I ran into at an old job. Yeah, even if it was years later, 5, 10 years later. Yeah. I remember once I was working with a client who shouted at me on the phone, cursed me out, told me our company weren't shit and all types of like profanities. She went in. A year later, that person applied for a job and I was the manager and I was the director. And she had to interview with me after a year before that. When I say screamed at me and read me for filth, I remember that. I remember the conversation. I remember having to say to her, I don't come to work to be spoken to like that, so I'm going to hang up the phone on you. I'm going to put down the phone. I remember this conversation. I remember this woman. I remember she sent me a dirty email saying she would never work with me again. FYI, 3 weeks later, she tried to work with us, but I said to her, nah, you told us you don't want to work with us, so you don't have to. She then came for a job with me at my company. See? She ain't never know that I was going to end up being the manager, right? I'm the director of now you got an interview with me. I don't shy away from things. I asked her in the interview. Obviously, elephant in the room. I think you've interviewed we've done a lovely interview, but I just wanted to ask you. Previously, obviously, we had a situation, you didn't like something and you lost your temper. How would you be if one of our clients did something that you didn't like? Are you going to be able to control your temper? How do you work under pressure? Because acting like that at work, nobody at work should get you to that level. They shouldn't be able to. Again, no judgment because I've been there. But the fact that when I think back and I think of the times when I've shouted at someone and I think I really let someone get me like that when I could have just laughed in their face. These people don't make my life any different. Like, why am I letting someone get me so angry? Like, I don't know, I swore at my mum or something. Like, I don't understand. So I'm asking her this question and she answered pretty well and she was a good candidate. And in the end, it came down to her and someone else because I still put her through to second interview. I didn't have to, but know that I'm not as bad as some of these other people you will come up against. Some other people would have been like, absolutely not. And the second time I'm going to give you the second time this happened in my career, I was like, absolutely not. Early in my career, I interviewed someone. She was amazing. Offered her the job. She had 3 rounds. We offered her the job. We had interviewed other people, but we offered her. She was the only one who was like, I've got a longer notice period, so it's 6 weeks. Would you still take? I said, yeah, absolutely. I could have got other people within 2 weeks that were good as well, but I said, no, 6 weeks, cool. She was like always on it. Then like nearer to the time, it was harder to get hold of her, but she was always on it, always responsive, blah, blah, blah. The day she was meant to start, she didn't turn up, she didn't call, she didn't email, just nothing. We'd done her checks, we'd done everything, just didn't show up. I called her, no answer. Called her again, no answer. I didn't hear back from her till the next day when she said, oh yeah, I decided not to take the job and I'm starting somewhere else. Pardon? We've positioned everything for you to start. We've got new team members that you're meant to be the leader of their team. It was disgusting. And what made it worse was you didn't tell us beforehand. Just out of politeness. And this is what I mean by reputation. Do you know that 8 years, it was almost 8 years later, had so many other jobs. She come for an interview and she put her name was a really distinctive name. And I booked her in for an interview because her CV looked good. And when she came in, she knew my face, I knew her face. We hadn't changed that much in 8 years. And she was like, oh my gosh, you interviewed me before, blah, blah. Oh, I just want to tell you that it was a really hard time in my life. Listen, she started to over explain herself. Listen, the reason why that person didn't get the job wasn't because she accepted a job and then turned it down. I don't care if you accept a job and then turn it down. That's not my company. I care if you're unprofessional. I care that you didn't have the decency to tell us you weren't starting. And I had to call you on the day. Who do you think you are? Or in this world, two things: be kind and show people respect. That's it. You could have just called and said, you know what? I found another opportunity. That's it. Even if you called the day before, on the day, I don't care. You called and said what you said. I don't care if you called the day you were meant to start. But the fact that you didn't call, you didn't email, you did nothing. And if I hadn't have called you, what? You just would have never come and I would have never known. Bro, I don't want anyone like that representing a company that I'm managing, leading, or directing, because it shows me who your character is. And you might say to me, Adele, she could have, it was 8 years before, she could have changed. She could have, but I'm not taking the risk with my company, my business, a company that I'm running for someone. Because guess what? If I hire that person and that person ends up being exactly what I think they are, that's my reputation. So I want you to understand. You see me, when I hire people, I'm putting my reputation on the line. If I say to a boss, like I worked with someone at another place and they was really good, I will only ever put my neck out for someone that I know was good. Why? Because that's my reputation. If I hire you knowing, because obviously the person I worked with, we were both directors. The other director said to me, "Oh, why was she saying all that in the interview?" And I explained, and she said, "Oh, well, then it's your call. What do you think? Do you think we should move it to second?" I was like, "No." Because 8 years ago, this person wasn't professional. And yes, I get it. It's hard, but it's a drag. But it is what it is. And if I can do that knowing that I'm actually quite chilled and laid back in comparison to a lot of people, what do you think other people are doing with your reputation? When you were really hard or really difficult, when you complain every day and you never say anything good. Listen, if there's things to complain about, complain, but can we at least say some good things? Like when you've always got a problem with something, when you don't just suck it up and say, you know what, this annoyed me, but it's okay, I'm going to do this. When you're rude to people, when you got an attitude all the time, these are not qualities of people that other people want to work with. These are also not branding that you want to follow with you. You don't want that reputation. Do you know? Because think about it. If you get the reputation for being difficult and then it's like, oh, you want all this money, but you're one of the hardest people to work with, then you get known as the person who's not worth the money they ask for. Why would you want that to be your reputation? I remember early in my career, I got known as the person who didn't know her worth. So listen, if you want like really low cost but high quality, go and ask for Adele. Imagine. So I was high quality but low cost. That's embarrassing for me. I don't ever want that to be my reputation again. That it, like, you can pay me peanuts and get the best quality out of me. I don't want that to be my reputation. But you can change your reputation at any time. But understand that if you've built a very negative reputation, it's going to take almost as long as you took to build that to undo it, maybe double the time. So be really careful with how you deal with people. We literally have to might cross paths with these people. Something I remember reading or hearing when I was much younger was the same people you meet on the way up are the same people you meet on the way down. And I never forgot that. And also my mum, love her because she's an amazing human, but she always says to me, I don't care whether it's the janitor or the CEO. You treat everyone the same. And I believe that because a human is a human. You treat everyone the same. There are no low jobs or high jobs. No. There are just people in those jobs. And you happen to have a different title. Treat everyone the same. Respect everyone the same. And think about what you want to be known for. And remember, we give people at work way too much power. No matter how much they annoy us, someone being rude to you at work isn't actually going to affect your life at its core. Someone listen, unless they slapped your mother, we don't need to go off on people. We really need to take a step back and be like, why am I letting these people really get my blood pressure this high? Stress kills. That's not what we're doing. We need to chill out sometimes. You still get to go home. You still get to be a good mum if you're a mum. You still get to have your relationship. You still have a car, a home, a family. Listen, a lot of people don't like their lives, and that's why they're rude and mean to you at work. They hate their jobs. That boss that don't like you, they hate their life. And they take it out on you. You ever been somewhere and the customer service was really poor and you're thinking to yourself, listen, if you hate your job, say that, but don't be rude. That's what it is. Some of these people are getting under your skin and being rude to you. They hate their life. And I'm not going to let someone who hates my life take me out of character, especially now at these big ages. Sometimes we have to put things into perspective and not let people at work get to us to the point where they take us out of character. But that being said, Don't let people play with you. Document your evidence. Keep all the evidence you need. And when people are ready, because when people are ready for me and they're like, oh, Adele, I asked for this to be done and blah, 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 I will send them like a trail of emails and say, oh, hi, I asked you for 4 things on December 15th, January 3rd, and February 5th. As you didn't respond, I believe that you were no longer moving this forward. Because Adele is not the 1, the 2, or the 3. Do not play with me or ever try and make me look bad. Anyway, do not let people get to you to the point where they get you out of character. There are days when I want to cuss people out. But then I remember that they do not affect my real life. I'm still going to go home to my happy life. I don't know what they're going home to, but you must be miserable because you'll be bringing the misery to work. Now listen, your boss and anyone that can get you fired, that does affect your job. But there are other jobs if push comes to shove. And if you've been following me for a while, listening to me for a while, you know there are ways to work around if it's just one person at work that annoys you. Listen, if everyone else is good and it's just one person, there's ways to manage that person to the point where either you get out from underneath them or you get things documented in a way where, they end up leaving you alone. Or sometimes you do have to leave. It just is the way. But no job is worth bursting a blood vessel for. Remember, I say it all the time, if it costs you your mental health, it's too expensive. If it costs your peace, it's too expensive. However, don't let people run you off from jobs. Don't let one person run you off from a job if you can work around it and get what you want to get. But remember, your reputation is everything. What do you want to be known for? Who do you want to be known as? A good reputation will put you in good standing and help you get good opportunities, good benefits. Listen, some of the money I've made in my career, some of the jobs I've been able to secure, it's all reputation. People should talk about you in rooms that you're not in a positive light. People have spoken about me in rooms and said, have you ever considered Adele for this position? And I'm shocked. People have spoken about me in rooms and said Adele's an amazing career coach. And I've got paid from someone who said, can you write me a CV or can you do some interview prep with me because I've heard you were amazing from this person. People have said, oh, that promotion's coming up soon internally. Before we start advertising it externally, has anyone spoken to Adele about it? And then I'm hearing like, oh, you came highly recommended by this person. I didn't even know that person really knew me like that. At all. My boss has said to me in my current job one time, like, oh, I spoke to someone on a meeting and they had nothing but praises to say about me. And I was like, what? I was on the meeting for like 10 minutes? That's crazy to me. But that's what you want by a good reputation. Being known to be, I know I'm known to be helpful. I help anyone if I can, like, even if it's not to do with me. I'm not the one who's going to say, oh, that's not in my job description. Like, listen, if it's really not in my job description and you're taking the piss out of me, that's different. But if someone needs help, I'm just going to help. Like, if I can, I'm going to. And yeah, sometimes that means I end up doing extra stuff. Yeah, but it just is my personality. Like, I'm a helpful person. It just is what it is. So I'm known for being helpful. I'm known for being a communicator. I'm known for teaching people. Like, if you work with me, for me, as one of my team members, I'm going to try and upskill you because I want you to ask me as many questions as you can so that you can take my job one day. Because isn't that the point? Everyone wants to grow and be better. Because while you're working on taking my job, I'm working on taking the next job above me. And if my boss is listening right now, I'm not working on that right now. No, but for real, I'm in a place in my career, my 9 to 5. You guys know I work part-time, so I'm not looking for this massive growth like I was like in like my early 30s, late 20s when I was trying to be like, woo, I want to be the top of my game. Right now, I do a job that works exactly right for me. The level of responsibility is still management because I'm a manager, but it's not so extreme like my previous roles where it affects my business because my business is bigger than my 9 to 5. My business is full-time now and my 9 to 5 is part-time. So it just has to have good balance now. So yeah, if my boss is listening, no one's coming for your job. But what I'm saying to you is like, I don't have that intimidation that someone will be coming for my job because isn't that what you're supposed to do? Because I'm always going to, when I was doing it, I was always going for someone else's job. And that doesn't mean I'm trying to take the next person's job. It means that I want to get to that level. So even if I can't get to that level in my current company, I'm working my way up so that when I leave, I have everything I need to get that role in the next company. So if you're currently a leader, but you want to be like a director or in C-suite, then you should be aiming for the C-suite job. Now, if there's no job, still aim to do the work that's at that level so that now when you leave, you're already almost at that level. Does that make sense? I want my team to be able to do all the things I do. And some people will say, no, because then they can replace you. Listen, if a company's going to replace you, they're going to replace you. They will replace you with someone who's incompetent because they want to save some money. So please don't think by training your team up, they're going to then find a way to replace you. Bro, if that happens and your company can't see that without your training, the team member wouldn't be that good, then you didn't position yourself right, firstly, or your company's trash. Because if I train everyone to be as great as me, or as great as I think I am. Let's be clear, because I think I'm great. If I train everyone to be that level and they're all great and they can all do what I do, and then my company's like, well, we don't need you no more because you've made everyone as good as you. I'll be like, but I made them as good as me. So imagine what else I could do with them. Now, see, that's the difference with me being able to spin anything and finesse anything. However, if they then decided to get rid of me, why would I want to work there? That's a horrible feeling. And I'll probably cry. I'll be the first person to cry and be like, oh my gosh, I got sacked, or I got made redundant, whatever. I'll be crying my eyes out. I'm a big baby sometimes. However, on the flip side, after I finish crying, I'm cussing everyone. And then I'm like, I'm cool. It's all good. Bye. Because without me, listen, I built it. So I'll break it. And listen, times when I've been like made redundant or left the company or whatever, guess what? The people that I've trained all the way up, they followed me. Why? Because I was a good manager. Why? Because I wasn't intimidated. I wasn't worried that you might be as good as me. I want you to be as good as me. Because again, while you're working to be as good as me, I'm working to be as good as the next part of my life, the next manager, the next place I want to be. So what is your reputation and what are you building? What is the brand you are building and how do people know you? Are people talking in rooms about you negatively or positively? And usually you can tell your money, the length of time you stay in jobs, the amount of good opportunities you get. That will show you how people are talking about you. When you struggle to get the promotions and the opportunities, sometimes it's because your job is trash. Sometimes it's because you haven't built the right brand and reputation. You haven't been visible enough. You might be great at your job, but you haven't networked enough within the company. You haven't built a reputation. They don't see you as a leader because you haven't built that reputation as a leader. They see you as a doer, the person who needs the instruction and will get it done, versus the person that can think on their own initiative and problem solve and come to them with a solution instead of coming to them with only problems. That's the difference. What do you want to be known for? Listen, I hope this helps someone, because some questions I get, I'm like, no, babe, it's you. And I'll be honest with people. I'll be like, no, it's you. Like, you need to think about your reputation. It's not them, it's you. And sometimes I'm like, no, it's the company ideas. They're toxic and disgusting. But sometimes it's us. And we need to be identify the truth. Is it the company or is it us? Are we the problem or they the problem? Did you wake up this morning and choose peace or did you choose problems? Your reputation will precede you. Make sure it's a good reputation. Anyway, as always, thank you for listening. I hope you got everything you need out of this episode, and share it with someone else. Like, share it with your coworker who's got a bad attitude. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your reputation is everything. It can get you the money you want, the opportunities you want, the part-time hours for the full-time money. Listen, reputation is everything. I was known for something. I sold the thing I was known for, and I got everything I wanted. So please understand that it's not just answering the right interview questions, being really good at salary negotiations, having the right confidence. It's also having the right brand that makes everything easier to sell. Again, I hope you've got everything you needed from this episode, and I will speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys. I hope this episode gave you exactly what you needed and motivated you to confidently take steps towards your next career move. If you enjoyed it, screenshot and share it on your socials, tag me on Instagram, and come join my community of amazing women working on leveling up their confidence and career. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.